Hi, it's Chris from blendedschools.net, and I'm experiencing a problem in building a softchalk lesson and wanted to show you the problem I'm having to see if you could help me out with it. So the problem is in a quiz group. So here I have a pre-calculus lesson, and there is a quiz group which contains 3 short answer questions. And if we look at how these short answer questions are set up, they're really just an equation that the student has to solve. And the equation was placed with an image. So this is an image, and this image is titled U1, L2, A1, and then in parentheses 1 JPEG. So this equation looks fine. If I look at the second one, looks okay, and third one, I can see all of the images. So if I save this lesson and preview it in my browser, this quiz group was on page 3 of the lesson, and if I scroll down to look at it, it's loading fine. Looks good. So this is a lesson that is what we call the long version of a lesson. Now what we also want to do is save this lesson another way. We want to reduce some of the activities to create a short version of this lesson. So the way that we are doing that in softchalk is we're saving this file with a different name. We're adding the word short at the end of the name of this file. And then we'll edit this lesson to reduce the number of activities in order to use it differently in our program. So this lesson is good, the quiz group is good, so I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it as pre-calc unit 1 lesson 2, and I'm going to call it short. So if I save it with that name, and then in softchalk I go ahead and open that file. So here it is on my desktop, pre-calculus unit 1 lesson 2 short, and I'm going to find the index file. Okay, so same exact lesson, just has a different name. I've just added the word short at the end. Eventually I would reduce some of the activities in this lesson, but first I'm going to take a look at this quiz group. So when I modify the quiz group, I can see it still consists of 3 short answer questions. And when I look at each of those short answer questions, it's looking like softchalk can't find my image file anymore. So I'm not actually seeing the equation, I'm seeing a reference to the image file name. And that's true for each of these. And if I go ahead and preview this lesson in the browser, and go to page 3, which is where the quiz group is, you can see that softchalk's not finding those images. So let's look at what happened in the copy process. Here's my original lesson, and if I look in the folder that contains all the files softchalk needs, and I can see here are those 3 JPEGs that make up that quiz group. So now let's look at the short version of that lesson. Same lesson, I just retitled it. And if I look in this folder, there are no image JPEGs for that quiz group. So those image files did not come with the course when I renamed it to make a copy of it. Shouldn't renaming a file leave the whole file intact and just make a copy of the file? And why do you think this is happening? Again, our goal is to create an exact copy of this lesson, and we prefer to do that in softchalk by simply renaming it. So we prefer to complete the production of one full lesson and then save it with a new name in order to begin to modify it to make a shortened version of that lesson.